Alright guys, so now we're going to take a look at breadcrumbs and footer. So these are actually components that you usually want to stretch all the way across. So notice that the start here is actually below the container. So that way it goes all the way across and it's not restricted inside the container. And the breadcrumb is very, very similar to a nav bar. It's structured pretty much the same way. We have our nav tag. I'm actually just going to give it a class of gray to change the color. And we're going to give it the nav wrapper class, which, just like all nav bars, gets this class. Okay, and let's also give it a container so that the words aren't stuck up to the side. Okay, so that pushes those over. And then we have our div here. Now this, I'm actually going to give this div a class of call and S12. Okay, so just a 12 column row. And then for each of these A tags here, we're going to do class equals breadcrumb. And that'll spread them out a bit and just make them look much better. So let's say class Alright, so let's save that, and there we go. So that breadcrumb adds these icons here, and it does that by adding a before pseudo class, so it can actually put content before. If we go right here, so before, and you'll see it has the code for the content, that'll give it the arrow. It's using the material icons font family, the font size, so they're 25 pixels. And then the actual text is 18 pixels. Alright, just adds a little bit of padding and stuff. So that's a breadcrumb, very, very easy. And what's cool is automatically the last link is automatically lighter than these ones, because you would be on for instance, the Brad profile. All right, then you would have this go to your users page where it displays all your users, and then your home page would be here. All right, so let's now create a footer. So you can see I just have blank footer tags here. We're just going to create this from scratch. So there's a class we can use called page footer. Okay, and we want to give this a color. I'm going to make it gray, and I'm going to say darken -3. So we'll make it a dark gray. And inside here, let's put a container. And let's use the grid system. So we'll put a row. And let's do, let's see, what do we want to do? We'll do S12. So we want it stacked on small screens. We also want the call class. So call S12. And let's do L6, so large 6. And inside here, we'll put an H5, and let's just say about us, and we'll give this H5 a color. We don't have to do this stuff, but I figure we'll just kind of do this throughout the course so that you're constantly reminded of how to add colors and stuff like that, how to lighten it, all that good stuff. All right, so we'll give it gray text, and let's lighten it. Oops. Say lighten 3, and then under the H5 I'm going to put a paragraph with some dummy text. So I'm just going to do lorem 20 tab, which will give us some dummy text. So we'll save that. Let's see, you know what, let's do M6 so that on medium screens it's also 6 columns. And then underneath this column, we're going to do the next one, which will be, it'll have the class call, it'll have, let's do S12, and let's do, let's see, M4. Yeah, we'll do M4, but let's offset it by 2. Because we have 6, 4, which is 10, and we want to offset it by 2, so we'll say offset dash M2. Whoops, dash M2. All right, and then in here, let's put an H5 again, and let's say links. So this will be just a list of links. We'll also give this a class of gray, or I'm sorry, gray text. And let's see, actually this should be text lighten, since it's just text, it's not the background. Do the same thing here. Okay, and let's see, underneath that, let's do a UL, and we'll do a bunch of LIs. We'll say LI times 4 using Emmet. And inside the LI, I'm going to have an A tag. Oops. So I'll have an A tag, and this will have a class of white dash text. And let's make this we'll just say link 1. All right, so I'm actually going to just copy that line. And we'll go ahead and paste these in. Prettier will format these, so we don't have to worry about that if you're using Prettier. And let's change this to 4, 3, and 2. Okay, so there's our links. Now I also want to have like a copyright area underneath. So we want to go, let's see, where do we want to go? We want to go under the container. Yeah, let's go under the container, which is right here. And we're going to put a class of footer dash copyright. And we'll put another container in here to restrict whatever's inside of it. And then inside there, we're just going to say copyright. And I'm going to use the ampersand copy semicolon, which will give us the little copy symbol, 2018. And then underneath that, we'll just put an A tag with the class of gray text. And let's also do text lighten 3. And we also want to align it to the right. So I'm going to say dot right. And inside here, it's not going to really go anywhere. I'll just put a hash. And then inside the actual A tags, we'll just say terms and conditions. And there we go. So now we have a little footer. Now I think it would look better if the copyright area was a little darker or just a different color. So what I'm going to do is in the copyright class, let's still do gray, but let's say darken dash 2 and save. All right, so I think that, yeah, it looks better. Yeah, so that's it. So we have a footer. If I make this really small, it'll stack on top of each other because we use the S12 class here. And we have quite a bit of space between the two because we set this one to be medium 4, and then we used an offset of 2, so it's kind of pushing it over a little. We could have just did another 6, like M6, and save, but you see how it's too close. I wanted to push it over a little, so it's good to set that offset. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for this video. In the next one, we're going to talk about basic form and input. So once we do that, we'll move on to the more fancy stuff with sliders and some JavaScript functionality and so on. All right, so I will see you in the next video.